What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again on Tuesday. We got a 12-game slate here tonight. Very excited about it. It's always great when you have the bigger size slate, so you don't have to worry about ownership as much, and you can kind of narrow down your plays a little bit better. You don't have to kind of settle with a play just because there's not as many good options and just nothing popping out to you. But when you got the 12 games, you can really narrow down that's the great spots for the hitters and the great spots for the pitchers. So I got my 6 plays here for tonight. So before we get going, if you could show some love to the like button, that'd be greatly appreciated. We only had one really hitter step up last night. Our pitchers were doing solid, but their pitch counts just ran too high, so they got pulled pretty early. So that sucked. They probably would have had even bigger nights if they didn't kind of beat themselves, which I was afraid about. But those were the only 2 guys where I felt that confident in and that safe with. But then the hitters struggled. Specifically, who was it that CJ Cron wasn't great, and also Jose Ramirez. I like the lefty against Lopez and the stolen base ability, but of course it was Lindor that was able to take advantage of it and not Jose Ramirez, so that sucked. I try to go with the cheaper of the 2, but let's get right into it for tonight. I'm going to go with Caleb Smith. This guy has been electric to start the year. Really good stuff against some tougher lineups too. Against Philadelphia, 25. Against a really good Cubs lineup, 11 Ks and 28 DraftKings points. So another good spot for him to get it going. He has a 34% K rate so far in the season and a crazy 16.7 swinging strike rate so far this year. So his stuff has been electric. Good pitching environment in Miami, and Tampa Bay is only implied 3.4 runs. I feel better about them against a lefty compared to a righty because Austin Meadows really good and Brandon Lowe, like 2 of their best lefties. Probably not going to be in the lineup against a lefty here tonight when Caleb Smith, so I really like him. 9,500, really good upside. Seems like he's still kind of underpriced and not been giving the respect of what he's been doing so far this year. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first guy. I'm going to go with Danny Duffy. This guy's been really good the last 2 starts against some tougher lineups in Houston and Tampa Bay. 19 DraftKings points in both, and he has a good matchup here going against Texas. I prefer attacking them against a lefty. I mean, you can't attack them with a righty, but when they're going against a lefty, specifically outside of Texas as well, they're definitely prone to striking out and not getting that same power that they can do against a righty, where they have a lot of different lefties that have power ability, but they're not nearly the same against the lefty. Danny Duffy kind of changing his pitching arsenal, and has been having the rewards with it. So I think he's going to have another good start here. He was given 5 or 6 days off from his last start, and Texas 25% K rate versus lefties, and like I mentioned, that park downgrade. So at 7,700, I think he'll be able to get the run support as well and get the win here in this game. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second guy. There's a lot of upper salaried hitters that I really like, so I really wanted to go with Danny Duffy to save some money. So for my first guy to pair with Danny Duffy, the guy that's going to be giving him some run support, hopefully, is Mondesi here at 5,300. Really good spot against Shelby Miller. He has a stolen base and power ability. Miller has been stolen on a few times this year and been giving up the home runs. Mondesi has a 241 ISO versus right-handed pitchers so far in the season, and I think he can have a really good game here. I mean, like I said, Kansas City Royals, they just steal base after base. You kind of have to love teams for DraftKings scoring that aren't afraid to just steal every single night. So 5,300, I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first guy. I'm going to go with Hunter Dozier in that same spot at 4,900 here for a different reason, though. I mean, Mondesi definitely has the power, but not the same power that Dozier has been showing off so far this year against righties. The guy's a 374 ISO and a 473 WOVA versus right-handed pitchers. And like I mentioned, Shelby Miller gives up a good amount of hard contact, good amount of power. And Dozier, the one spot he really struggles with is that he can strike out a good amount. But Shelby Miller isn't a guy that's going to make you really look foolish. He's not going to put you down in 3 pitches with 3 swinging strikes. He doesn't really miss bats it often. So I think if Dozier can connect with one here, he can go deep and show off that raw power that he has been doing all season long with the 9 home runs. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second guy. Then we're going to go with Chris Davis. This is a guy, like I mentioned a week ago, he's a very streaky hitter. And once he gets going, he just catches fire. He had 2 home runs last night, so I'm not afraid to return to him here in this slate. And at 4,000, still way too cheap. going against a guy in Mike Leake, who might be a little leaky here tonight against Chris Davis. He's allowing 2.7 home runs per 9 to right-handed batters and 46% hard contact to righties. So Chris Davis, a guy that has shown better ability against right-handed pitchers. He has some reverse splits in that sense, if you want to call that reverse split. So at 4,000 here, really good upside. And Mike Leake has been really bad. Some wind blowing out the left field. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my third guy. Way too cheap of a price for a guy that has that kind of power. And for my final hitter, we're going to go with Matt Carpenter, a guy that's been really struggling to start the season, but going against a right-handed pitcher in Fulton Newix, who has been really struggling himself so far this year. I believe he's given up like 5 home runs in his first 3 starts off the DL. He's really been struggling. So Matt Carpenter, it's a spot where he can take advantage of. And this is around the time of year where he started to catch fire last year. Carpenter had a really slow start this season in 2018. But around mid-season, around May, June, I want to say, is when he really started to catch wind. He was hitting home run after home run. And against a right-handed pitcher here tonight, a pitcher that is really struggling, like I mentioned, this is a spot where he can break out, go deep. I mean, we're talking about a guy that was one of the best hitters in baseball last year at 3,700. I think he's going to be able to rekindle that fire sometime soon. And against Fulton Newix is the perfect spot for him, a guy that's really struggling. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my final guy. Really good salary for Carpenter. So we got Caleb Smith, really good K upside. Danny Duffy against a weaker lineup versus lefties in Texas. Hunter Dozier, really good power upside against Miller. Same goes Mondesi. Carpenter and Chris Davis, 2 guys that are really powerful, can go deep even twice in one night. So I hope you enjoyed it. Slap a like if you did. Really appreciate all the likes. Really helps me out so I can keep these videos coming your way. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so you don't miss out on any more MLB DFS content. But good luck. We'll see you back here again next time.